Welcome to the Tearing It Up podcast. I'm your host, Taryn. We'll be tearing it up, tearing it down, and tearing it apart, dissecting all things related to those who deviate from the standard. From leaders of their industry to leaders of mediocrity, and maybe a gear review or two thrown in. We shoot the shit and let the conversations flow, so if that's not your style, this may not be for you. Otherwise, listen in. Hope to light a fire in you somehow.
Woo! Happy July! Happy July. Another new month. So we're starting you off with a TNA, and I love July. So I'm happy about it. And it brings me to, I wrote this down because I was wondering, do I love July because it's my birthday month? And like how many people just love the month of their birthday? And so I was wondering, Amber, is August your favorite month?
Yeah, it is. No doubt about it. I mean, I really like September because it's also Quincy's birthday. But yeah, I really like my birthday month. And I mean, for me, in August, there's no other holiday except for my birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
You
point.
get to share it with America's birthday.
I do, and I'm right after. So luckily, it's nothing like Christmas or something. Those people I always feel really sorry for, even like in November and January, because January is just like the come off of the holidays. People are tired. November, everyone's getting ready for it. So I feel like, and then there's Thanksgiving and stuff. So I feel like those months, November, December, January, like your birthday can get really overshadowed. And as we get older, I think a lot of people put a little less on their birthdays, they're not as maybe excited about it because there's just so much going on in life anyways. But because I used to like no, I'm not working on my birthday. I'm enjoying the day, blah blah blah. And I think there's still times that I can feel that way. Like, it's my birthday. Like I do want to just chill, but it's definitely nowhere like it used to be of like I want it off. Like I was thinking this year, I was like, well, maybe I'll just ask to work the day and not the night. Like, I really don't want to close the restaurant or work at the brewery until closing, like on my birthday. But I'll definitely work a day shift. But I'd like to like relax and chill with my dogs in the evening because I almost said Amber's gone. Andrew is gone. He's up in Alaska fishing. So yeah, I mean, my birthdays have been low key anyways, but with the 4th of July, just depending on how it falls, like, yeah, it can be a little crazy because people are just out doing shit for the weekend. Like this year, my birthday's on a Sunday, the 4th of July is on a Friday. So I'm not sad, like, everyone's going to be gone and no one's going to be around to celebrate with me or something. I'm more like, oh man, it's going to be a shit show here in Tahoe that weekend. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go do or enjoy anything because the lakes are going to be full and people are going to be everywhere. So I'll find myself like more frustrated or something, but I'm going to try really hard to not get in that like locals salty mindset and just
It's so hard not to.
I know. And I actually don't work on Saturday. I work Friday day, but not Saturday or Sunday. It just was given to me off. So it's like, Saturday I'll just chill with the dogs and try to kind of like hide out maybe at home. And when my family was here last week or so, we went mini golfing and it was fun, but it was like we had Delia and Colin, so 5.5 and 3.5, really not understanding the concept very well, especially Colin. Like he just wanted to run to the next one. And they're like picking up the balls, like not like hitting it where they were and just like restarting and stuff. And that was totally fine. It was so awesome to like be there with them for their first time and watching TK try to reel it in because he's great, but he's also like me and a lot of parents, I think, who played sports where he really did want to teach them the concept and how to like do it right, So he's like really trying to like teach Delia how to putt correctly. And so like he wasn't getting frustrated by any means, but you could tell he really wanted them to like kind of learn a little bit and take some habits. But so he wasn't golfing, and Jen was also trying to help Colin. And like I said, it was super fun, but I want to like play. And my sister-in-law Jen had brought this up too. She's like, she wanted to as well. She's like, oh my God, I really want to come back another night, like just the adults, and like let's get competitive. But we never made it happen because I mean it just, you know, is so hard trying to plan anything. And we had a lot of stuff going on as well, so couldn't squeeze it in. But I've been thinking about it since, and like, yes, I want to go like actually play. I did get a hole in one, and so did Delia, actually.
Same hole or different holes?
Different hole. Hers was a total fucking crazy fluke. She like hit it. It was this cool feature where it's like a kind of an L shape, but you hit it into like this waterfall, and it goes through this tunnel and then drops down. Yeah. And she hit it, but it just bounced off a rock and then down to the next section right into the hole. But it was awesome. And yeah, so I got one on my hole in one was like really on one of the harder ones. But yeah, I want to, I mean, that was hard too, but everyone was like taking a million shots at this one. I was like, this is gonna be the one I get a hole in one in, and then I did it. It's like,
what? Called it out.
Yeah, I love when that happens.
Corner pocket.
Yeah, totally. So there's this course in Kings Beach right off the lake, and yeah, that I was thinking like to do that, but again, it's gonna be probably crazy busy day on Sunday. But I was like, well, we could go to Reno.
Infested tourists.
Yeah, and I'm like, we could go to Reno and maybe play somewhere down there, but it will be much hotter there, and I do want to be outside, and I don't want to drive down to Reno. I'm like, fuck it, like we will deal with the people and the crowds, and maybe go for like a little paddle before or after or something. After would probably be like better because it will be more evening, or I don't know, just depends. But plan low key. And with all that being said too, I don't know like when Andrew will actually be home. I mean, I'm going mini golfing whether he's home or not, but he may, it just is so up in the air whenever they shut the King season down, which could be any day. And he's also having some problems with his foot that I haven't heard from him this morning. He like had to quit fishing yesterday and go lay down. He has this terrible swelling in his foot that comes and goes, but this is the worst he's ever had. I don't know if it's gout, like for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, really? He was saying last night, like if it wasn't better today, then he might have to go home early. So I really hope that doesn't happen, because I want him to be able to fish as much as he can and not come home from it.
When did he leave?
Last Saturday morning. Okay. But the season didn't start like till yesterday, July 1st. Kings opened, so they went out Monday night and got ready, and then fished all day yesterday. And they'll go, like I said, as long as they can. He's only up there for the King season, which can be typically the first opener. For the trollers is a little shorter. Sometimes they open it back up mid-season or end of season, and it stays open because they're just not coming through. They're not running as heavy, so they're not like reaching a quota. But this year the quota was cut by like 40%. So who knows?
That's significant.
It is. And yeah, you know, like I said, you never know. It could be a couple days, because if everyone's just catching them, you could reach that quota in a couple days. But now with it being 40% less, same thing. It could be reached much sooner. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But time is it's been a good week. It's been a total 180 where I had so many people around me and was doing so many things for like 10 days straight, to all of a sudden Saturday I get back, like drop him off at the airport, get home, and I'm like, well, now I'm just totally alone.
Yeah. Which is kind of nice, but also like an adjustment, especially when you've had that much stimulation.
Yeah, I love it. I like the change for sure, to have that alone time, catch up on some things, but it also can be a little bit hard, because it's when those things happen, and this happens a lot too after I've had just really busy weeks or something like that, and all of a sudden you have that first day off, and I'm like, okay, this is great and nice, and whatever, I do my things, enjoy alone time, and sometimes it's like, a couple hours, and then all of a sudden I get this like mad rush of anxiety because I'm like, what the fuck do I do? What do I do? Like, I need
Yeah.
to be doing
Yes.
something.
Yep.
But again, there's the times where it's like nice and much needed where I don't feel that pressure, and I was able to ease into it pretty well
And
this
rest.
weekend. Yeah, rest. Yeah. So this weekend,
Very important.
Saturday I had like the day I did a few things, and then I worked the evening. So that kept me busy. And then Sunday I went on a big ride, like a big for me bike ride. So,
Yeah, bravo, dude. I saw that. How did it
yeah,
feel?
pretty good. So to fill all you guys in there, if you don't follow along on Instagram, and also I didn't post that much about it throughout the month of June because I was so busy with like being gone and work and events and family in town and stuff, that I posted a few times, but I did the June 100 challenge from the Cairn Project. A friend of mine, Angie Marie, works closely with them, and I had seen her post about it. She's been on the podcast a couple times. But I like committed to doing 100 miles on my bike in June, and it was a fundraiser for supporting more access to girls in like outdoor programs. So I committed to 100 miles on the bike, and it was open to anything. You could make it any kind of goal that you wanted. It could have been 100 miles, like mixed anything, but I wanted the accountability to get myself out on my bike. So I chose that,
Mhm.
and I mostly mountain bike, so I was like, "Oh god, this is actually going to be pretty hard because, when you're going out mountain biking, it's like again, for me, a 9-mile ride is like a pretty big mountain bike ride that takes some time because
Is
you're going up quite usually it's a pretty decent climb, and then yeah, just a nice descent. And so 9 miles on a mountain bike can take as much time as like 20 miles on a road bike or a gravel bike or something. So I was like, this is going to be a slow burn. I'm getting like 4 miles here, 4 miles there, 8 miles there. Um, and but I also do want to go on these longer like gravel rides that I have like mapped out to town. So I did one of those. I got one of those in that was 20 miles, like before the family and everything came. And then I wasn't on my bike for like 10 days. And I was thinking about this in my head. I'm like, fuck, by the time my family, they leave on the 28th or something, it's like, that's 2 days to get the rest of the miles in. I
crunch
knew it was gonna
time.
be a crunch, so Sunday, I was like, "I gotta get this 30-mile ride in. This is the only day I know that I have to do it and, like, will do it." So I did my little 30-mile loop that I've actually only done once before, and I did not do it last year, it was the year before, and, yeah, I intended to be up at like 7 a.m. to do it before the heat, but I'd worked the night before and was just again coming off so much shit with the family and being so busy that I could not get up and move in. So I got a little bit later start than I wanted, but I was lucky that it stayed pretty cool until like the last hour was pretty hot and tired getting those last like 10 miles or so. But yeah, I survived. I was pretty cooked afterwards again with the heat, and just like straight up chilled Sunday. Again, dilly-dallied around the house, like enjoyed my hammock and just some peacefulness. Listened to an
Yes.
audiobook like all fucking day.
Uh, Frick off, dude.
It was great. It was
That sounds like
great.
a dream.
Yeah, it was. And then
Good.
Monday rolls
Especially
around.
after, I was gonna say, especially after chasing kiddos around.
Yeah, luckily I didn't have to do like a whole lot of that when they were here, but yes, it was just very stimulating that whole week.
Yes.
That's for sure. Um and especially when I'm not used to like that much. I mean, it's just in different ways, right? I work in a fucking restaurant bar and do a lot of events. Like, yes, I'm used to stimulation, but there was just different energy there. Also, the kids were like off and on sick when they were
Yes.
here, so just a lot of
Yeah.
moving parts. But So Sunday was great. Monday rolls around and I'm like, all right, Monday, got to get back on track, my work schedule, get things going here. I'm going to the gym first thing because if I don't, I won't. And I knew that having 25 miles left on the bike, that was going to be really hard to complete. And so I did not want to chance not going to the gym and then also not riding. So went to the gym. It was a pretty heavy like squat day. It's pretty my legs were fucking just toasted too. I laid down in the middle of one of my sets and the coach was like, "Are you okay?" Like making sure I didn't like pass out. I'm like, "No, I'm fine. My legs are just dead." And that was like pretty early on in the workout. So I went through that and then got home and worked a bit. And I was just like, dude, I want to get this 25 miles in so fucking bad. I committed to doing this and it's a fundraiser. It's like no one's holding me accountable. I also hadn't reached my dollar amount goal yet. So in that way, I felt a little less guilt because I was like, well, I didn't take everyone's money, yet. Like I didn't reach $100. I was actually even. I was at $75 and I had 75 miles. So I was like, oh, I feel good. I won't, promote and try to like, reach this dollar amount. And then I didn't do my part, right, in getting my miles. But I was like, fuck that. Like I want to reach both goals. So yeah, just sat down at the computer for a few hours and had some meetings and then I was wrecked. And I was like, dude, if I'm going to even attempt this ride, because now it's middle of the day that I knew I would have to wait till evening. So I'm trying to figure out timing and when to go where it's not just going to be hot the whole time, but it's going to start to cool off and I'll find some shade. And I ended up taking a little lay down for like an hour and was kind of in and out of sleep to rest a little. And then hit the road for another 25 miles. I had totally planned to, because I was like, I'm not biking home, right? Because the 5 from my like start of the main road, that's like 5.5 miles or so to my house. It's all a slow incline. Well, then there's a pretty big incline, but it's like all uphill for over 5 miles. And I was like, I'm not fucking, there's no way I can end the ride with just a 5 mile plus climb. And it would be like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night or something. I'll be dead tired. I do not want to end my ride climbing. So I had this plan to park at this bike path a few miles from me, and then I'd bike back through this neighborhood and do my usual route onto the gravel roads, go to the brewery, enjoy a beer or two, and then Tart Connect home. So here we have this thing like Tart is our bus system, and the Tart Connect is like a free shuttle ride, a free van, so kind of like a Uber, but yeah, it's all free. So I was like, and they have bike racks. So I was like, fuck yeah, I'll call a Tart Connect. I'll put my bike on there, and I'll just like go back to the truck, and all will be well. But I was like 10 miles off when I got to the brewery.
Oh shit!
So
damn, brother.
And I was feeling real good as I was like in the last few miles to the brewery. I'm like, oh, this is great, because usually at this point I'm feeling it and I'm pretty tired. But it's like I'm feeling good, and all of a sudden, as soon as I thought that, my back started to hurt so bad, and my foot was cramping like crazy. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like I had some snacks and electrolytes and stuff, but just from being in that, the ride the day before was 3 hours, and I was at an hour and a half almost at this point, or yeah, something like that. So yeah, I was just fucking like, oh no. But anyways, get to the brewery and have a couple beers and some chips, and I'm like, fuck man, I gotta get back out there and do 10 more miles. And so from the brewery I biked through town on the bike path, which was super nice, because it's a pretty chill, easy ride, and there's a little climb to get to the truck, and I have like 4.5 miles left. So I just like did loops through this neighborhood to like get it back. I don't even know if oh yeah, I did post it to Strava, but yeah, it wasn't like that many loops, but I was just kind of looping around. I do one big loop, and then I was like, fuck, by the time I get to the truck, I'm gonna have like half a mile left. So I went down this road, went like 0.2, turn around, come back, get to the truck, have like 0.10, do a little circle in the parking lot. Like, but I did it. And then also I I also reached my dollar amount goal. So I was super proud because I don't do a lot of long rides like that. Like 3 hours in the saddle, both rides like back to back. And I'm just really proud of myself that I did it on Monday
Yeah, good job,
too.
dude.
Because I easily could have been like, it doesn't matter, no one's holding me accountable. I can do it like on Tuesday. Sure, it will be July 1st, but like, you know, if I can't do it, if I can't do it, like I don't need to push myself. But I was also like, but I can do it, and it might be kind of slow and a little miserable and painful, but I'm not gonna fucking die. And
Yeah.
once I get out there and get started too, like I know I have to finish. And I also know, like, worst case scenario, if I really do end up completely bonking and cannot do anything, like the these roads are completely accessible by vehicle. I know plenty of people I could call for help. Like, I know I've got these two guys, like some friends of mine and Andrew. I'm like, okay, I'll call Chuck and he will come pick me up, like, no problem. Like, um, but yeah, so I was also thinking, I've been talking a lot over like the fucking last couple of years, really, but about how I really want to bike pack, and do a long big trip. Well, those are going to entail multiple days,
Yeah.
possibly
In a
weeks,
row.
every
Yeah.
day. Yeah, on the bike and long days. So I was like, this
Like at
is,
least 50-mile days with
yeah,
weight on your pack.
yeah, exactly. Like heavier bike.
Oh, your poor cootie booty.
Yeah. So I was surprised because I was a little nervous about that. I got on my bike and I was like, ooh, a little bit sore, but um it went away pretty quick. Because I was like, shit, this is gonna be a long couple hours, if I'm already sore. But yeah, I was like, this is great training actually, and it really gave me a lot more kind of motivation and I guess confidence to know that I can do it back to back, and I want to do longer rides like that back to back. And for me, honestly, this just came to mind too, like, as a lot of the land around here, it's SPI, it's owned by Sierra Pacific Industries, gets closed in the summer because of wildfire danger. And so a lot of the trails and places I like to ride are affected by that, the longer trails. And
Yeah.
and it's dusty and busy. So I'm like, you know what? And I've been talking to a few people about this, like, summer, July and August don't need to be my main times to mountain bike. I should
Yeah.
be enjoying like paddling and being on the water more, or like gravel riding.
Yeah.
And I can totally put the focus on mountain biking more in the fall when it's not as
And
hot.
spring.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
And the
So
soil is better.
exactly. If we get any moisture, but
Any moisture whatsoever.
yeah. But so yeah, it's just kind of taking some pressure off yourself and things, where I feel like it's not that I really identify as a mountain biker or anything, but I'm like, yeah, I don't need to, like, I need to get on this trail. I need to ride my mountain bike. Like, sure, I want to, but if I just stick to my couple of short, quick go-to trails in the summer, that satisfies the itch. And then when I want to be on my bike longer, I can use this time, July and August, for like my longer gravel rides and doing more like back-to-back longer rides so that I can hopefully one day do a bike trip. And as I was out on these rides,
Mhm.
because they go along these reservoirs and there's like campsites and camping and stuff available around there, that I was like, this is, and I've been talking about, that's where I need to start. And I was just imagining like getting some gals together to go on a mini bikepacking trip just out our back door, like literally a 5 mile ride away, and doing that. Or even uh with Andrew, like having Andrew go with the dogs and have a few more camp items, but like I can bike out there and, you know, set up this longer bike trip kind of around that, but then I can meet them because I want to spend some time with them obviously too. But yeah, it's what's been your longest bike ride?
My longest bike ride was a century. I helped my friend Katie train for what is that? We were calling it Iron Woman.
Good.
Yeah, and we did a 50, a 75, and then we did a century in one day. That killed me, and I just wanted a cheeseburger afterwards. And then my longest back-to-back, like 2-day in a row gravel ride situation was an 80-mile ride, 1 day there, 1 day back on gravel from Rattlesnake Ridge to Ellensburg.
Oh,
And
cool. So wait,
that
it was 80 miles
fucking
each
been
way?
yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang,
It was a
2
good time.
days, 160 miles in 2 days.
Yep.
That's,
Murderous. My
yeah.
shoulders, my wrists, my ass. Like I have never felt that before, and I've never not wanted to hop on my bike more in my life.
Well, and
But it was always been good.
leading up to that ride, I mean, what was like the longest time you'd been in the saddle?
Probably like, oh God, maybe 50 miles, maybe
That 30
in a
extra
day. But it
miles is a
was,
lot.
yeah, and it was all on gravel. And I didn't, this was before I even had a gravel bike. Like it was just a bit of a foreign thing to me.
Mhm.
But I did it and I got it under my belt and I knew what that felt like. And now I know. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like once you do the thing and get through the suffering and see it and face it, then you're like, oh, okay, that's what that was.
Yeah.
I can do it again. Like I recently went on a mountain bike with a group, and one of the persons who went, it was like they're new to mountain biking and it was like one of their first real climbs, and she was just dying, and me and my friend were like, yep, been there before. And it's just that once you see the suffering, once you feel the suffering, once you experience it, you think you're dying in the moment. You absolutely do. Not trying to disqualify that feeling in that time, in that moment. But once you see it and get over it, and you're like, okay, I did that, I lived through it. Then once you see it again, it's not so intimidating. It's not so scary. It's familiar.
Yeah.
And it's just wild how you can like do that with pain, with suffering, with huge obstacles. And I feel like that's probably going to be the same for you with bike packing. Like
Yeah.
right now, it seems unfamiliar, uncharted territory, kind of scary, not the unknown, And then once you do it, you'll see it, you'll face it, you'll know it. And then once you do it again, you're like, okay, I've been here before. Now where can I go with it? It's just such a great thing when you do those things in life where you have the unknowns and the nerves, and then you face your challenges, and then you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
that was that.
A little
Moving on.
less, yep, exactly. A little less scary each time, for
Yeah.
sure. And did you have your road bike when you were doing that big 80?
The gravel ride
Yeah, the 80,
or the
the
century.
uh
I
rattlesnake
borrowed one
ledge
of my
to.
friends, Ellensburg. I borrowed a friend's gravel bike,
Oh, got it, got it,
and
got it.
then
Okay.
that's what made me want to get a gravel bike. So it was like I did that ride. I borrowed the gravel bike. The next season, I bought actually, I think it took like 2 years, but I was like in school, and it was kind of like my graduation gift to myself. I bought my gravel bike, and I still have her, and she is still riding dirty. And I actually just use my gravel bike as my day-to-day all around bike,
Commuter.
and
Yeah.
I can go through potholes and jump off curbs with no worries, and it's great. I love her.
I love it. Yeah.
Pepe is her name.
Pepe, I
Purple
love
pepper.
it. I'm hopefully gonna demo one very soon, and yeah, I'm excited just to see what the difference feels like because I've ridden yours, but only around Tacoma, like on the roads. And I did ride a Live Devote when I went to Sea Otter, and it was on gravel roads and on some single track, but it was a fairly short ride, and not being my own bike and being slightly a little not correctly adjusted and with a big group, it was awesome to be on, but I want to go on a longer ride with it, and especially these roads and trails and things that I know, and where I can really feel the difference, in the bike and geometry and things, because obviously for bike packing you can use so many different kinds of bikes. I could use my mountain bike 100%. I know a lot of people do on big, crazy trips and stuff, going through different terrain. So I don't know, but I still want one for the option. I know I'll want one for regular kind of everyday stuff. But yeah, the bike packing, that could just depends on what the route is and what kind of bike this a big trip that I have in my mind would take. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited to try one and just to get on the bike longer. And for me, it's one of those things that I really enjoy doing this solo, because I just want to be at my own pace, and I feel like I can have the most fun doing it that way. I just cruising, and like mountain biking for me is so much funner with what's that?
I was going to say, not worrying about like keeping the pace of someone in front or behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Just all on your own.
Exactly. And like mountain biking, I have a lot more fun with friends, but with this, I don't know, it's kind of like my solo time, and it's less consequential. And so I enjoy doing it by myself, and I'm not talking really anyways. But yeah, sure, I want to do a short bike packing trip with people to get it under my belt. But like these longer rides, I kind of like really enjoy doing solo. And um so the Tahoe Truckee Gravel Race was last weekend too, and I think you can still, there are courses I have like downloaded, I think on Strava, from just wanting to give them a try. So there's this 66-mile loop that was their medium loop, and I was like, oh, maybe I can try that when I demo this gravel bike. And that'll definitely take some more planning on my part, but where it goes through, I was like, oh, you know what would be fun, like maybe I could do it on a Saturday or Sunday and have Andrew and like meet me somewhere halfway or something, have like lunch or something with him, and then like really make a whole day of it, not worry about the time, not try to bust out a straight 66 miles and get it done as fast as I can, but yeah, make it a little funner to really test out my self and things and take a little of the pressure off. But yeah, so bikes, love them. I love them. And
love them, man. What bike did you ride when you did your big rides? The
just my mountain bike.
Week? Okay. Woof.
Yeah.
Did you lock out your shocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's all I have is my mountain bike. So that's all I ride. And yeah, I lock out my shocks, but even when you do that, there's still a little more give. And especially I think that just with my bike and body weight and things, it's like the suspension and everything wasn't necessarily made for that. So I think that it's not, like I said, you're always going to have a little bit more give than if you're on a rigid frame. So that's why I really, really want to try a gravel bike and see what the difference is in these trails, and like, what the efficiency is like. Yeah. And even just the amount of gears and things too. They're a little bit different. So it could make things, again, all around a little more efficient. And I'm really interested in seeing how much that might affect my time, or how my body feels, and everything. So yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. So
damn,
I'm so
good on you.
Yeah. Yeah. But that does, so for those of you who've stuck around listening to our cycling talk and are still here and or interested, that segues us perfectly into talking about Rome Fest again for you all real quick, because we have some exciting things in the works to like get us to Rome Fest. We're gonna be doing a little fundraiser. I'm not going to tell you all exactly what. I want to keep the mystery of it a little bit, but it's
Oh.
yeah, totally. It's going to be really exciting for us to do, and it is also like we will 100% be relying on our audience and our friends there to help make this happen, this thing come to fruition. And yeah, it sounds mysterious and everything now, but this whole thing, it will be, like I said, a fundraiser to get us to Rome, our road to Rome. It is September 19th through 21st. I think you can still get tickets there too, if you haven't gotten tickets to Rome Fest. So we're really stoked to be there for that weekend, but we also want to make a little more of a trip out of it, considering Amber's going to be coming all the way from Washington, and from Tahoe it's like a 12-hour drive. So yeah, we're hoping to make a little road trip out of it, spend a couple days on either end of the festival, and have some fun together, bike in new areas that we haven't gotten to explore, and just have some fucking fun together on our bikes. And as you all know out there too, this podcast, it like doesn't make money, and so we rely on the support from you all out there to kind of keep things rolling. So that's why we're fundraising our road to Rome to help get us there some gas money, some lodging, and it obviously will be enabling us to make the content to at Rome Fest and during the trip and all that. So these will all be part of the storytelling that goes back into the podcast. We've been graciously invited by Rome to be there, so that is huge, huge, huge that we have that opportunity to even attend. But it's still obviously very hard for both of us to, out of pocket, get ourselves there. So we'll be asking
time off work.
time off
lives.
Exactly, time off work.
But also we need to.
Yes, we absolutely need to, and we're going to, no matter what. Like, we're gonna make it happen. But we will be asking for your help along the way. So until you find out what our little mysterious fundraiser will be, there's also a lot of little ways you can help that are not monetary that you can always help with, just like sharing the podcast, rating, reviewing, like, can't stop ever shouting it from the rooftops. Those little things make a huge fucking difference. Hitting that 5-star and actually writing a little one sentence, like one liner thing on Apple Podcasts, like it takes a second, and it is so helpful. So I beg of you, please at least do that if you haven't. And if you can't donate any kind of funds, we totally get it. Look, we are people hustling and trying to just get by with groceries and gas and things. So like I said, there's a lot of ways you can help that are not spending money out of your pocket there, and just continuing to share too. But those reviews and ratings really, really, really help. Open up Apple right now if you have it. Go to the show, you scroll to the bottom, you see reviews, and it's easy to hit write a review. Like I said, it can be a one-liner. And yeah, so stay tuned for more about the road to Rome. And in the meantime, like I said, just share and all that good stuff. And I just had to throw that in there right there while we were talking about bikes. So
Yep. And hope to see some of you at Rome. Oh my God, it's gonna be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it so much.
I know, I'm excited. I can't believe it's July already. The summer is just going to fly by per usual, because it really only feels like it's 2 months, like July and August. Yeah, I can't believe my birthday's in 4 fucking days, and I'm going to be 37, and it feels like I am now officially in my late 30s.
Woof. Woof, dude.
I
In it.
I feel like mid 30s are 34 to 36. I feel like late 30s is 37. And I don't usually like odd numbers. I've been okay with sevens because July is a seven. So I'm like, I can like sevens because, yeah,
Lucky
July's the
number
7th
7,
month.
baby.
But yeah, I don't put so much weight on birthdays, like I said, anymore. Or age, because guess what? It is what it is. We can't do anything about it. What's the point in like sulking in like, oh, I didn't get here, or I didn't do this or whatever by this age, because I can't go
Yes.
backwards. I can't change what has happened. All I can do is like continue to forge forward.
Celebrate the wins.
Yep. Celebrate the wins and just not stop doing what I'm doing,
Yeah.
not lose momentum. And plenty of people do a lot of things later in life. And I'm just trying to have that mindset of it's definitely not over. It's not anywhere near over. I can have so many more accomplishments and enjoyments in life. And yeah, the world can still be your oyster. And sure, things change. And I think for women, a lot of it is can be related to your body and health and children, whether you have them or
Sure.
not. You're thinking about just things happening and changing in your body. Your hormones change. Just, am I in perimenopause? Like, I don't know. There's so much talk. It's so confusing out there, and to live with the constant fucking cycles that we're in as women. So that gets in your mind and makes you think all these fucking invasive bad thoughts. And I'm just trying
Sure.
hard to not let it get there, but we all know
Yes.
that it can happen.
Focus on the gratitude, my dude.
Yeah.
Focus on the gratitude. Focus on like being proud of your body for getting you through 3, almost 4 decades.
Yeah.
Like that's huge. And for like we have all of our fingers and our toes and we have all of our legs, like our brains are still working. Like there's just yes, you can dwell on the, oh, I didn't get here and I didn't do this and I didn't blah blah blah, and comparison is the devil,
Yeah.
but just focus on the good, focus on what you've done, focus on where you are. Think of little you, little bitty you, and how far you've come now and all the things you know. And like what would you say to 7-year-old Taryn? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As a 37-year-old Taryn, you just gotta like you really got to bask in the gratefulness. It's just I can't preach it enough. It's like you just have to. It'll add years to your life, and it'll keep you
Absolutely.
healthy, and it'll keep you sane. It'll keep you happy.
Yeah. And I feel like, especially right now with all that is going on in the world, I actually was a part of this call yesterday that
Yes.
kind of touched on this, that it's really hard, right? There's a lot fucking going on that's very upsetting and depressing and overwhelming.
Yes.
And there's also like a side of guilt that comes with when you feel happy. Like, how can I when this is happening and that's happening, right? It's so
Mhm.
conflicting. And how do you get away from it? There's so much noise going on right now. And so when you think about the broader picture, it's fucking scary and sad. And you wonder what's going to happen and this and that. And I understand it is so hard to separate yourself from it or to turn it off for a second to be able to enjoy any of the good stuff. But like you said, Amber, it is so important to really be intentional about setting aside some time to do that. And
Yes.
I was also kind of reflecting on this during this call yesterday as well, as like with my family being here, it was the first time they'd been here in like 5 years. And it really allowed me to again get a view of where I am from a different perspective, because now I'm with the tourists, right? Like, yes, they've been here before,
Yeah.
but we were still doing the things that sometimes I don't do because I'm like, oh, I don't want to go there. There's like too many people, whatever. And but we did these things, and I was like, God, actually, where I live and what we have at my fingertips is so fucking cool. So
Yes.
so cool. How, you know, lucky am I And at the same time, instead of, like I've said before too, like I hate at times saying like lucky, but yeah, there's a bit of luck, right? Of those of us who were born
Yes.
with a lot more privilege than others. So yeah, to an extent, I am certainly lucky that I was born in the fucking meat suit that I'm in. But also, I was like, I am proud of the life that I have chosen and created. I have
Yes,
chosen
bitch.
to be here and to make this work and to go down this path and this route. I've chosen to be here. And again, I'm not saying that there is no privilege involved in the fact that I can be here by any means, but I do think it intertwines. There's a lot of moving parts to it that have put me here, and I won't deny that I am also part of that. I have again created and chosen some of this that have allowed me to be here as well. And I just think that the whole point of this little tangent is, again, that we need to be proud of ourselves. We need to look back, like you said early on, like
Yes.
celebrate the wins. It is absolutely okay to be proud of
Celebrate
yourself.
them.
Yeah, and but two things can exist at the same time. We can recognize when, we've been #blessed. We're lucky, we're privileged, but we also can acknowledge that we have put in work and effort and things to get other things in
And
our
there has
lives.
been struggle.
Yeah.
Don't discredit the struggle.
Absolutely. So, like I said, I think two things can certainly exist at the same time. And that is what we need to remember right now, too, with the dumpster fire of the world that we're in, that we still can find joy and happiness in our lives whilst things are burning, because the reality is too, we cannot solve everything and some things are out of our control. So it's like, do what we can. And I have to constantly remind myself of that, especially with this leadership program that I'm going through. And the modules that we've been going through have been pretty heavy, like sustainability, advocacy, all these things that are very overwhelming because there isn't one answer. And when you dive into these topics, it can feel like, oh, there's no way to get out of these problems. It feels like so heavy and so much, but you really have to remember, again, like, do what you can with what you've got, and that's a whole lot better than nothing. And again, find that joy and happiness. You can have sadness and happiness at the same time. You can have guilt, you can be proud, you can have these things at the same time. And yeah, sometimes we have to dig a little to find that. But yeah, this last week it's been great for me to kind of sit back, like I said, look at the larger lens and take in what I've got, where I am, where I live, and enjoy it. And that's what I've enjoyed about being on the bike solo too, is that I'm like, wow, this is so fucking cool that I literally rode from my house and am riding these roads where I'm not seeing, in the grand scheme, many people at all, and can be way out here. I can go way over there. I can loop back to my house, or I get to loop to town, meet my boyfriend, have a beer, and get driven back home. Like, what the fuck do I have to complain about?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we can complain about whatever,
Absolutely.
but it's like when you put your focus and your energy on that, that's what you're putting into the world.
Yeah.
And if you focus on the good, that's what you're putting into the world. And I'm only saying this because I meditated once this week.
But you were.
I was able to have like some self-care this week, and I did yoga and meditated, and it just really changed things for me. I don't know if it's because I started my period or what, but I was a bit of a grump for a little bit there, and it just took me out of that and really helped me out, and it was beautiful. And I highly suggest you try your best to do one thing for yourself each day, even if that is having a cigarette, even if that is buying yourself that coffee, even if it is doing that 10-minute meditation and you're not like fully in it, but you did it anyways. Please just do one thing for yourself.
And absolutely. I can't agree with that more. And that's been something I've been trying to focus on lately too, is like, this is for me, right? This makes me feel so good, and setting that time aside. Life gets the best of us. At times we get in the whirlwind and we don't have it, and it's really easy, in just as it is in those moments when it's really hard and you're on that climb or something and you're thinking you're dying, and how you're like, I never want to do this again, right? But then you finish it and you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad. And the same thing can
Yes.
happen when excuse me, you're in the good moments and you're doing that thing. You're like, wow, I feel so good. I need to do this more. I'm doing yoga every fucking day. I'm going to meditate 5 times a day. Right. And you're like, and all of a sudden it's the next day and everything's out the window. Right. All of a sudden it's the
and
next
you're
week.
pissed off.
Yeah. It's 10 days later. I haven't ridden my bike. And I'm like, what the fuck? I just said with that person, like, let's do this weekly. Haven't seen you in 2 months, person. You know, like, we get it. We get it.
So real.
You get wrapped up in it. It's really easy. But again, I think just taking that pressure off, right? Remembering when you're in that moment how good it feels, and trying your hardest to like do more of it. But also, again, the two things existing at once, giving yourself that grace if it doesn't happen. You know, if it all of a sudden you're looking at the calendar and you're like, oh my God, it's been a week and I haven't done my favorite self-care activity. I must do it, you know, then it comes from a different place too, where you're not enjoying it. You're trying to force yourself to do it. You're not in the mindset that it's just like, I don't know, trying to. Also, I had a conversation with someone else too, and, you know, she mentioned like, she doesn't believe in balance, or nothing's ever going to be in balance. And we've talked about that plenty of times too. Balance is not 50-50. It could be 70-30. It's over here. So rather than chasing balance, it's finding your flow, and that flow changes and it ebbs and flows. Right. So, I'm feeling real fucking good on my bike, but I know that the next 3 days, probably not going to get on my bike, and that's okay. And I might not this weekend, because there's going to be people everywhere and it's going to be warm. So, you know, I don't want dust in my face. I don't want crowded trails. Like, that's fine. I can just chill. I can totally just chill and wait till next Monday. But, yeah,
and get your board on the water, baby.
Yeah, totally. So, a lot of options. And yeah, just wanted to recognize too that it's very easy when you're in the blissful moments to say like, oh yeah, this is it. I'm going to do it every day and find this new routine. And then you don't. Because life gets you. And we fully understand and again resonate and relate to that. But damn, does that feel so much better to think blissfully like, oh, I'm going to do this every day and my life's changed, versus like, I'm dying, I'm never going to do this again. So I'd rather think that, oh, yeah, I'm going to ride 60 miles every day or every week, you know, no problem. Like, probably not gonna happen, but that's okay, because I have a lot of other fucking things that I enjoy doing also. So I don't
going on.
Yeah, I'm just over putting pressure on like, I have to mountain bike this many times a week. I want to do a long ride this many times a week. Oh, I need to paddle. I need to work out. Like, I just want to make sure I'm hitting at least one of those bullets, right, a week.
Yeah.
And that's still going to be, like I said, better than trying to squeeze it all in and not enjoying it. Cause I'm just like, I have to paddle because I said I was going to paddle, you know, like, it's so dumb. It's so silly.
It is. And it's all a mindset too. Also, for reference, I think the last time I meditated was like over a year ago. So there's that for balance.
Yeah.
But it was amazing.
And you just go through phases where things hit you and resonate and like just feel better for you. And like I said, there's times I can't get in the mindset to take that quiet time or whatnot. And I don't feel like really forcing myself, but you also find the things where you're meditating on. And for me, this last week was like getting on my bike and just getting myself out there, where I was far enough out that I'm like, I have to, you know, I'm here now, and I can get in my flow because I am now in it. So sometimes for me, it is like a little push in, but that allows me to get into that flow because I'm not turning back around, you know?
Yep.
So yeah,
Heck yeah.
I mean, and here we are both, I think, feeling good because of, again, where we maybe are in our womanhood cycles, right? Our hormones are at a level that we're like seeing the positivity, but and for me, 2.5, 3 weeks, I might be in the fucking negative newt and like
Yep.
grumpy state, right?
So
But
tired.
yeah, that you're
So
just like,
tired.
you're forgetting all these moments, and there's memes all the time that are like, oh, I was wondering why suddenly I felt like I was gonna like murder someone, and then I just realized I was about to start my period. It's like, it's so real, so fucking real. And you feel like a completely different person sometimes during those weeks, and then it can feel like a complete restart.
Jekyll and Hyde.
Yeah, it's fucking annoying, but I don't know, trying to find some practices, I guess, that maybe bring me back to those moments. So when I do have those weeks that I don't feel like I'm starting from ground zero, and I can like get back into the flow that I was in beforehand. I don't know what those kind of grounding activities or things might be, but a lot of times I kind of will all of a sudden leave a project or idea half thought or half done, because all of a sudden, like, that period or late luteal phase or whatever hits, and I've lost all motivation, and then I start something new when I come out of that phase instead of starting where I was, and that frustrates me. So yeah, trying to find some different outlets and things that I can pick back where I left off when I go through those moments. And it might not even be tied to your like period or cycle. It could just be like, we all have those days where suddenly you just wake up and you're like, man, not feeling it today.
Today ain't it. Today ain't it.
Yeah. But I feel like today and the
good
rest of this
times.
week is it for me, and for I'm gonna
Fuck
keep
yeah.
riding the wave, riding the high wave, and see what
Get it.
happens. Go ahead and turn 37 on Sunday, and
Woo!
and we'll be the same
Fuck
age for
yeah,
a
dude.
month.
Yeah, we will. Dude, big deal.
Yeah.
37. Living in heaven.
Woo!
Woo! Not quite, but sometimes maybe a little.
Oh my
Depends on
god.
what your version of heaven is.
Absolutely. Changes all the time. Well, I think I've wrapped up anything I've got. You got anything else you want to add before we let the good people go?
I've been riding my mountain bike more and it feels so divine. Yeah, I meditated. That felt great. Been doing some Peloton workouts.
Yeah.
I'm a soccer mom.
Oh,
And so I've been
yeah.
doing some tournaments and it's just so fun. Organized sports are so good for some people, and for him, it's really good and great. And I just love watching the kids grow. It's really incredible.
I love it.
And we're in summer. And someone asked me yesterday, they were like, "You've been enjoying your summer?" And I'm like, "No, I really haven't been, because I have been working a lot. I've been inside a lot. I've been going to like soccer tournaments. And although, yes, it's great, I really would much rather prefer to be like hanging out by a body of water and just being free. But you know what? We are 37. You are almost 37. And it's just your hustle era. You know what I mean? We're like midlife, mid mountain, climbing our fucking shit. And it just is what it is. But I will have time to enjoy my summer towards the end. Right now, I am that worker ant. I don't know if you ever remember that childhood story of like the ant that worked all winter to like build this garden or whatever. And he kept on asking everybody for help. And they were like, "Nope, not today. I'm not going to help you. No, not today. I'm not going to help you." And then spring comes around and this ant or whatever the animal is has this beautiful garden. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, you have this thing that you put so much hard work in for. And now I want to reap the benefits." And he's like, "No, frig off, dude. You didn't help me." So yeah, just been hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
You
And
know,
it's good. It's great.
And
just
we
need
all
to
go through
find
those.
some like real good investments, you know what I mean?
Totally. And, we all go through those seasons. And I think that, yes, at times we have to hustle, right? But we're not like
Yeah.
hustle culturing where we're just trying to do all these things to get ahead and get to that retirement or something, right? Like, oh, we want to retire early. We're going to work our lives away now. Our hustle is a little different because it's just like, it is what we have to do like right now because you just need to. You're a mom. You have a lot of things going on. Like right now, you've got to work as much as you can to get by because, again, the world's on fire. A lot of things make us feel like we can't get ahead because of the cost of living, pay amounts, so many things that, again, are out of our control that we have to do these things. We have to sometimes put blinders on and get the things done. But again, I do think for us that comes through in shorter seasons where you like at this end of summer, like you said, you'll have time to enjoy rather than the hustle culture of the past where people are like, doing a million things, working 80 hours a week all the time just so they can go on a 2-week vacation when they're 40 or something, right? Like it's not the same idea of hustle culture, but you gotta hustle when you have to hustle. And
Hey, baby.
I totally get being in that. And also though, you've got time, right? Summer is really just getting going. You'll find those pockets and it just might look differently right now. It might be the Saturday and the Sunday instead of that Monday where everyone's free and life does look different for you right now, but that's okay. It will also look different for you in a great way than other people eventually. Like it's just that comparison, right? Comparison is the thief of joy. So you gotta sometimes put your blinders on, not really worry about what anyone else is doing and only focus on where you are right now and what you've got to get done, what your priorities are, and know why you're doing it. And that's that. And at least you've got Quincy too getting you outside for little things. The little wins. Remember, if you're going for a bike ride around the block, if you're going out to the water after work for a short stint, like keeping those things in mind, that it doesn't have to be an all-day leisure water day, though that would be incredible, I'm sure, for you. Take those little fucking wins right now.
Yep. And just be grateful. That goes so fucking far.
Yeah, especially when you are in those moments like you are.
Health.
Yeah.
Oh, so glad I'm healthy right now.
Yeah.
And I hope I didn't jinx myself.
Yeah.
Fuck. Grateful for health.
Absolutely.
Grateful for health. Good health.
Well, everybody out there, thanks for sticking along, listening to all the bike talk. Remember, keep your eyes and ears open for our Road to Rome fundraiser and just like antics and things that we'll have going on through July and August and September and whatnot. Hopefully in the next couple weeks, you'll all get to really know what the big hurrah is for us to do to kick this all off. And remember, please, those little wins like ratings and reviews, have to say it because we need it so bad and we love you so much. So thank you again for listening. All right, everybody. For real. Thanks. Goodbye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and would do us a huge favor, since we don't have any sponsors or anything like that, and would rate and review us on whatever platform it is you use, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is. And if you're listening and downloading just through the website, tearingituppodcast.com, leave comments. We'll definitely engage back with you. And on social media right now, we're just on Instagram. Tearing It Up Podcast is the handle. Like the post, share the post, comment on the post, whatever it is you got. Show us your love so we just stay relevant and show up in the rankings at all. So again, rate and review, please. and we'll see you next time. Thanks!